Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today, October 4th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, the Road Warrior. I got to come up with a better superlative to mention how lovely and how road-tested Linda Kay is. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning. Woo. I do love Road Warrior. However, I cannot do Road Warrior justice. So maybe we do think of another name for me, like you just said. Road. Hmm. We
Well,
got
I
to think
mean,
about
where we're
that one.
going today, we don't need roads. See what I did
Ah,
there? Back to the Future.
yes. Well, thank you, Meathead. We are now into October, which is my favorite month of the year for numerous reasons.
Of
Number
course.
one, fall. Number
Yep.
two, football. Number three, Halloween. And number
Yep.
four,
And number
my
four,
birthday month. My
yeah,
birthday
your
month.
21st birthday coming up. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I know. 21. I cannot wait to finally experience bars and nightclubs
Bars
and
and drinking and shenanigans.
buying liquor at the liquor store. Mm.
Well, I mean, you've been living the last 3 years of just, lottery tickets and porno mags. So,
Oh,
once we get alcohol in there.
yes. Yes. Yeah. Happy October.
Happy Rocktober for Linda Kay.
Ooh.
And in October, when the weather starts to cool down, even though it was 70 here yesterday, and everybody across America watched the game of the week on CBS as the Packers destroyed the Steelers. They saw that it was 70 degrees. It might have been a little rainy, but when it gets cooler, what kind of clothing are we going to wear?
We are going to continue to wear collar and elbow, where you can find the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. And speaking of October, everybody head on to the website collarandelbowbrand.com. Got some new shirts up there, including
Yep.
a bright pink breast cancer awareness collar and elbow t-shirt,
Nice.
as well as some more Halloween themed shirts. We got a Frankenhead t-shirt, which is like a zombie Al Snow t-shirt. Well, Frankenstein, but zombie-ish
Yeah.
if you look from, certain angles, I guess. We have a Four Headless Horseman t-shirt. And of course, everything else, the sales. Check it out, collarandelbowbrand.com. And to save a little extra money, to save yourself 10% off your order, use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY to save and get that discount.
Yep. And in the comments here, no matter where you're listening, be it on Facebook or YouTube or Spotify, Apple, look in the comments. The link will be right there. The promo code is there as well in case you missed that. So we normally break into news, but really it's kind of a big wrestling weekend. I want you to first talk to us about what's the happy haps down at OVW over the last weekend.
Well, I just got back from the Ville yesterday. It was a busy week. We had our weekly live TV show Thursday night. We have announced our October pay per view, which is going to be Apocalypse, which is going to be the last Saturday of the month during Halloween weekend, Saturday, October 30th. So, got things shaping up in our tag team division, including again former senior intern Cal Hero from
On
the Fanny
commentary
Pack
this last
Party.
weekend, right?
Yes, yes, I got to introduce them for their match and introduce the Fanny Pack Party to the ring for their commentary for one of the tag matches. So things are shaping up with the tag division. Got some changes happening within the belts. If you missed it, you can always catch OVW TV live every Thursday night or the replay on the free Fight TV app, FITE. Make sure to check out OVW on there. And then I also had some fun appearances. Meathead this past Friday night. We had a
Yeah.
table at the Fright Fest Film Festival
Ooh.
in Louisville. So that was pretty cool. Checking all the horror stuff. I'm a big fan of horrors. I've mentioned to you numerous times. And then Saturday morning, we had an appearance on the Riverwalk in Louisville for the Kindness Warrior Walk, supporting a Down syndrome organization
Mhm.
there in Louisville. And I got to go on the stage and do some announcements. We had some of our stars to take pictures and interact with everyone. That was a tremendous time. And then lastly, we had our final house show of the summer fall season, if you will, in Providence, Kentucky, which is about 3 hours west of Louisville. So it started raining. We ended off this season with matches in the rain, and it was something different for me to experience and for a lot of us. But all in all we always put on our talent puts on a tremendous show. We have the
Mhm.
fans happy there in Providence, and here I am back in Milwaukee,
Yes.
ready to talk to you more about some wrestling.
Let's talk some wrestling. All right. So really the news over the weekend has been WWE Draft, right? It's draft weekend. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
have talked about it all over the summer. When's the draft coming? When's the draft coming? Here we are. The draft happened on Friday night on SmackDown, and it also happened Saturday morning as well. So let's talk some of the picks. All right. First off, the draft started off hot. I mean, they made it first round, and I think they did a great job of making sure that we knew that Roman Reigns was the number one overall pick. SmackDown got
Right.
the first pick, and they chose to keep the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. I'm going to run through rounds 1 and 2 here, and then I want to hear what you think about it. Raw decided to keep their champion because they saw what SmackDown did, and they kept Big E staying on Raw. So no worries about the belts moving brands, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Universal is blue, the WWE Championship is red, and they stay there. Here's the first twist. The SmackDown draft of Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair on SmackDown now. So right now, SmackDown holds both women's championships. They did mention, however, that these rosters will not take effect until the Monday after the next pay-per-view. So after, excuse me, I take that back. It's the Friday after Crown Jewel. I have my dates wrong. The Friday after Crown Jewel is when these rosters will take effect. Raw also grabbed Bianca Belair to come on over to SmackDown. In round 2, SmackDown grabbed Drew McIntyre to move over to SmackDown from Raw. Raw grabbed the tag team champions RK Bro staying home. SmackDown picked up the New Day, and that's Kofi and Xavier. They're going to SmackDown from Raw. And then Raw's going to hold on to Edge, taking Edge from SmackDown. Linda, your thoughts on round 1 and 2?
Well, as you said, started off hot. Both brands making it clear they want to keep their top champ. And I think that's great to keep Roman Reigns on SmackDown on Fox. And, how hot he is right now and how hot SmackDown is. That was a great move for them to keep their tribal chief, as well as Raw keeping Big E. I mean, it's great. Obviously, I guess you don't necessarily have to have both heavyweight champions on separate shows, but that makes sense. So obviously
Right.
we got Big E still on Raw. I am bummed though that they were just reunited and now the New Day is back on
Broken up
SmackDown.
again.
I know, away from Big E. So that got me a little bummed, but hey, I'm still gonna get to see New Day Friday nights. Still gonna get to see Big E Monday night. So that was cool.
They just
You know
moved
what?
him around again.
Right. It did surprise me that the shakeup of having Charlotte to SmackDown, or I should say, Bianca, being announced to Raw, just because I know you and Matthew talked about it last week, mentioning seeing a Charlotte Bianca Belair feud would be something cool, a new feud
Mhm.
to start up, perhaps taking place after the draft, but we come to learn that's not going to be the case either. So moving Charlotte over and having both women's champions on one show right now, a surprise to me. But I thought, having Edge going to Raw to shake things up, that was a unique twist, and I think that would work out great. We need to have some more heavy hitters on Raw. Although Raw has been, like shaping up really nicely these past couple of weeks, I think having some more heavy hitters over there
Yeah.
will just make it stronger. They are losing Drew McIntyre though, going to SmackDown, but
Right.
perhaps
So
something
here's
with
the two stories I think that come out of round 1 and 2. A, Drew McIntyre going from Raw to SmackDown with Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown. I
mm-hmm.
think that it's Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, either Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, to WrestleMania, somewhere in there. Drew McIntyre is going right back to the belt. And we had talked about that, when he was done with Bobby Lashley and didn't have the belt anymore. I thought his next move was to get drafted to wherever Roman Reigns was. So that's happened. Secondly, Fox specifically said they want Charlotte Flair on the Fox show. So the network got their wishes and they drafted Charlotte Flair to SmackDown.
Right. But I as we'll later, or find out, Bianca Belair is now going to be on Raw, and I was also hoping to see a Charlotte Bianca feud take place, but guess that won't be at least anytime soon.
So this draft felt very legitimate to me, felt very good, right? The first 2 rounds. And then round 3 came around and it fell off the frickin' rails. If you're drafting your top stars, all right, I'll give a pass to drafting Happy Corbin, right? He's got his buddy with him, Madcap Moss, who is Riddick Moss, who was on the Raw Underground. Okay. And then the women's tag team champions were drafted to stay on Raw. Okay. Now we're going to, I thought, a surprise pick, but I'm not against this. Hit Row, promoted from NXT. They will now be on SmackDown. Hit Row is on SmackDown.
Yeah, that was a big but pleasant surprise as well. I am a bit surprised though that we really didn't get the full payoff on NXT. Just
Right.
because
I think there's a lot of star power there. I'm really happy with them. What that also means is somehow Isaiah Swerve Scott has to drop the NXT North American Championship.
Yeah.
And then Raw grabbed Keith Bearcat Lee. Nothing against Keith Lee, but right now I think he's bottom tier, and they're just rebuilding him now. But he's not a round 3 pick to me. Round 4, SmackDown picks Naomi to stay on SmackDown. Naomi's going to be back in feud again, I believe, with Sonya Deville. But again, now we're reaching. We've done a couple drafts for Pro Wrestling Report. I've been in fantasy drafts. If we're making this legitimate, we're reaching here. Raw grabbed Ray and Dominic as a tag team to, be on their brand from SmackDown. SmackDown grabbed Jeff Hardy. And then, again, we're kind of reaching down lower. Raw also grabbed Austin Theory from The Way out of NXT. He is now on Raw. Austin Theory. I really do think that we're reaching now.
Well, he did prove his time on Raw during the pandemic that he can hold his own there. But, yeah. I would have assumed more of the current title holders on said shows would have been drafted. For example, Becky Lynch.
Right. She'll probably headline Monday's show, and I'm pretty sure she's going to Raw.
Yeah, well, she did come out, at the end to commentary during the Bianca Sasha match.
But I was digging her something fierce.
Yeah, well, there was no mention of her not being drafted. For her, new character, the arrogance, the cockiness. Yeah. I thought that would be the first thing that was out of her mouth, but
should have been. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for the Usos not being drafted yet because we saw later on SmackDown.
Well, there's a story there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but all in all, I mean, should be interesting who we see tonight. I'm going to assume Raw's going to get the first pick in each round. We'll see what other shakeups take place, but I do believe, yes, Becky Lynch will, it would make sense for her to move over to Raw. Therefore, Seth Rollins being drafted to Raw. Perhaps the Street Profits going to Raw, and I'm just going based on spouses.
Right.
And that's where I'm going to leave off with that right now. I want to get that element of surprise still tonight, Meathead, so I will definitely be watching and see what other shakeups happen in the draft.
Yeah, Naomi staying on SmackDown means the Usos probably stay on SmackDown. Again, the Street Profits on Raw would be because, Bianca's going to, I mean, we understand how that stuff goes. If Andrade was still around, he'd be around wherever Charlotte's at, right? So there was extra picks made on Talking Smack. You talked about champions. Raw holds on to the WWE 24/7 championship, which hasn't been defended on SmackDown in forever, right?
Yes, I do believe it's just been Raw segments.
Just been Raw. So Reggie stays on Raw.
Yes, Reggie's still on Raw.
Here's the other Raw picks. Raw picked Nia Jax, John Morrison, R-Truth, Drake Maverick, Akira Tozawa, Doudrop, Zelina Vega, Otis and Chad Gable, Apollo Crews, and Commander Aziz. Here's the big thing that I'm going to leave this at the end. T-Bar stays on Raw. T-Bar only. SmackDown picks Aaliyah from NXT. They get Drew Gulak to go over to SmackDown. Mace goes to SmackDown. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali and Tony Storm all are all going to SmackDown. So, breakup of a tag team here. So, T-Bar drafted to Raw. Mace drafted to SmackDown. Will we see any impact from that?
I thought that they were actually a strong tag team together now that they were no longer labeled Retribution. I think they could have done some more building with them as a tag team. I mean, they're two huge guys, and in the matches that we saw with them as a tag team, I thought they dominated a lot of the matches. They may not have won many matches, but they still dominated a lot of it. And
can I make a request? Yes. WWE, I know you listen to the program. WWE, can we go back to Dominic Dijakovic and Dio Madden, please? Those names are terrible.
Maybe that might happen.
Maybe. Who knows? All right. So that is what's happened over the weekend for the draft. We still have much more draft coming up tonight. And there's a possibility they also finish the draft off on Raw Talk after the program, like they did with Talking Smack. So overall, it's an entertaining draft. I'm happy that it's on. I love the back and forth. Let us talk now about Seth Rollins on the Broken Skull Ranch. Linda, I know you watched it. I watched it as well. First off, I want you to tell me, we're going to skip into the middle here. PWR, the Pro Wrestling Report, David Hero, Damian Nelson, and you actually had Seth Rollins on the program during his Money in the Bank reign, right?
Yeah, we did. Well, we had the Pro Wrestling Report primetime television. Seth Rollins came in studio, and Damian Nelson had a one-on-one interview with Seth, who had the Money in the Bank briefcase on set on the desk. That was a tremendous opportunity that we had him in studio. Tremendous interview. He was, at the top of his game, and the interview was great. Very humbling interview. Very humble. I mean, he's from the Midwest. We talked about, like his history within, wrestling in the Midwest, Milwaukee area, yes. And it was quite a humble interview. Although his character at the time was very different, but hey, he definitely proved his worth, and we all know it led to that heist of the century, which is still my favorite live in person.
You were there.
I've ever seen. Absolutely.
You were there. Yeah, that was San Francisco, right?
Yes, San Jose, San Francisco. Yeah, it was at Levi Stadium.
So that was the same one with NWO versus DX.
Yes.
Oh, what's so funny? To speak of our friend David, the Zohan Hero, it's funny that it was such a big deal for everybody across the world to finally see NWO versus DX. Dave booked that match years ago. We were at Great Lakes Championship Wrestling watching that match, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Matter of fact, that was the match I believe I got to call commentary on with Damian Nelson.
How about that?
Because I remember at the time, I think Kevin Nash had that big issue, he had like a staph infection in his elbow. So he was having to do the patent Kevin Nash elbow with the other elbow. It was amazing how it went.
Yes, I must have been very excited calling that. I this match I got to watch in its entirety from the bleachers, but sometimes it's nice to just sit amongst everyone else, the fans, and just watch and cheer amongst everyone. So that was a neat experience, seeing that live and in person.
Fantastic. All right, so let's talk a little bit of Rampage from Friday night. Again, Rampage only an hour show, but we had 3 huge matches. First off, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson took on Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks with Matt Jackson and Brandon Cutler. I thought this was a fantastic match, and it had obviously Bryan Danielson coming out with the win. Kenny Omega and Adam Page ran to the ring. No, Adam Page wasn't on. Did I say Adam Page? No, he wasn't on Rampage.
It rhymes.
Kenny Omega. What's that?
It rhymes.
Yeah, it rhymes. No, my notes here, I took notes, and I don't know why I put Adam Page on there. He wasn't on there. But no, there was they're setting up the big match for Wednesday, which is going to be the Super Click taking on Christian, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. Really, at the end of the day, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Bryan Danielson. There it is. It's an 8-man tag. Better than a 16-man tag. Did you see that from Wednesday night on Dynamite?
Yeah, but it was just hilarious hearing you and Matthew intro that on PWR today.
You know who had a great video package? Absolute Ricky Starks.
Oh, yeah. This
kid is a star. I normally don't listen to anything our friend from Big D ever says, Big D from Big D. But he's been on the Ricky Starks bandwagon since AEW launched, since he had that opening match, that tryout match for Cody Rhodes on pay-per-view before Dynamite even was on the air. Ricky Starks is going to be a star.
Absolutely. And having him, doing commentary as well, we're going to see another side of him and just another talent.
You know what? It was great this time because And again, I'm not against Jericho. I'm not against Jim Ross. I'm not against Mark Henry being out there commentary. Not against Taz being out there. We only had 3 people on commentary when Ricky came out.
Yeah, I know. I know it wasn't as crowded as if you've
Right. Everybody had a
mentioned.
monitor to look at.
Yeah.
All right. Jade Cargill, the Native Beast, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa in a triple threat, a 3-way match. Jade Cargill, undefeated. And I felt bad for Jade. I'm yelling at the TV. I don't know if you yell at the TV when you watch shows sometimes. They kept zooming in. I'm like, can somebody put Jade's stuff back in her shirt? Because she was falling out of the side of her shirt.
I guess I didn't notice that too hard. I did notice a lot of chest chops that she was getting.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's why it was out of place because it
Right.
was
Or the garbage can too.
yeah.
She held onto it and it. Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
don't think.
smart Mark Sterling needs to, tell her that she needs to adjust. When a guy has to do it, it's called a re-rack, right? She needed a re-rack.
Yes. I didn't know that term, but yes.
So yeah, it was uncomfortable, but I'll tell you, the match was absolutely fantastic. Again, those women are really helping build the women's division at AEW. It's something that we've pined over. If AEW had one sore spot, it was that there was really nothing going on with the women, and matches like that are really helping just increase the popularity of the women's.
Oh yeah. I mean, you bring a table to any match, let alone a women's match, and you have Nyla Rose going through it the way she did.
Yep.
That was insane. So that was, yeah, I agree. That was an excellent match, and just the way Jade Cargill came through with the victory, the silent victory there, I guess. Like I think more of the action, most of the action was between Nyla and Thunder Rosa, but Jade Cargill sneaking in and still undefeated
Before we talk
for a
about the
wrestling
main
career.
event, yeah, before we talk about the main event here, I want to talk about Malachi Black's promo. Walking down a dark stairwell, and he said, "For the Nightmare family, I hope what I did consumes you. It looks like it's festering, eating you away. You know what? I'm done. There's plenty of tolls that need to be collected in AEW." Oh my God. This guy literally got 60 seconds on screen, and he did better than some of these opening 20-minute promos that you get on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, he's tremendous at doing that. I mean, just his look, his feel. I mean, this character has been similar. It's similar to what he's done his
The
entire
Aleister
career.
Black that we were getting at the end of SmackDown before he got unceremoniously released was not bad either.
Right. I mean, just from his TV introductions, but I meant as far as his
Mhm.
entire career from
Yeah.
NXT to WWE to AEW, and he just has that commanding presence, the whole packaging, the look, and it gives me more. Like I want to see more. Excuse me. Of what he has to do to Cody Rhodes and just the Black Mist storytelling. Yeah, the
Yeah.
60
And he even
seconds
explained
really.
with the black mist. I hope it's in your pores, festering, eating away. So
Hmm.
let's talk main event. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. You know what? I don't. I know Jim Cornette's a friend of friends of our friends, and we've met Jim and we've talked to Jim. Um, I don't like his assessment of Orange Cassidy because, to be honest, the joke's still funny to me. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy in the main event thing. Where Mark's in the split screen, where you
Hmm.
got the competitor 1 and competitor 2 on each side of Mark Henry. And Mark says, "Get ready for match." What kind of match is this again? What am I doing? Okay, whatever. That's
Yeah,
funny. I
it
don't care.
was. He was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's funny. I do understand his point though, where if you think about like Jericho, where he was a ha ha funnier, other characters that were ha ha funny. To get to the next level, you got to lose a lot of that ha ha. Okay. Triple H was always ha ha funny, but he could turn on the serious as well. So if Orange Cassidy ever wants to get past the level that he's at now, he might have to drop the ha ha funny that he's doing and start getting serious. However, in this match from Friday night, Orange Cassidy, the Hardy family office, Jack Evans with Big Money Matt Hardy. This is for hair. Somebody's getting their head shaved. At the end of the night, Orange Cassidy did not get peeled. The winner of the match is Orange, and Jack Evans got his head shaved.
Yeah, I did enjoy this match. I mean, just starting from the split screen, Orange Cassidy saying, "I don't know what I'm doing," but then on the other side, you have Matt Hardy and Jack Evans. It did remind me, a little bit of Brutus, or just that comedy factor from old school, from
Yeah.
way back when, where you have that that dastardly heel and him just being like, thinking about Hardy with the scissors. Like, it just, I don't know. I thought it made me much more invested in that match. And having the support, Orange Cassidy, that is the support of the Dark Order and his best friends, against Matt Hardy's, the family order coming through. And I thought it was really well packaged, how you had the
Mm-hmm.
face off, but you knew what was going to happen.
Right.
You knew Jack Evans was going to get his haircut. And, I thought maybe he was just going to get the cut, but then the shears, or
Cut with the scissors, because they cut off the ponytail first.
yes, I thought maybe that might have been it, because I noticed Orange Cassidy pulling up the hair.
Oh, then Wheeler Yuta pulled out the clippers.
Yeah, the clippers. Thank you. What was I razor, whatever, shears. I'm not sure, but the clippers. Then that came to fruition. Poor Jack Evans, but hey, it was a very entertaining way to end the evening, the week. Rampage, and Orange Cassidy still has those luscious locks.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got the hair, but he wasn't sure that he was going to lose it. He's like, I don't know. Okay, whatever. All right. A Dark Order big hug, by the way, with the best friends as well, because you got to give the people what they want.
Yes.
That was probably the best and the biggest hug we've ever seen on AEW television. That had to be 25 people deep.
I was hoping we would have gotten that zoom in, but next time.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to zoom in on all 20 or 25, whatever it is. You got to pan out.
Or pan out, excuse me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a big weekend of wrestling. We still have draft tonight. We're going to talk again tomorrow morning. Linda, you going to join us?
Yes, I will be back.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit more Seth Rollins. I know we did watch the Broken Skull sessions. I'd like to get into a little bit more in depth tomorrow on Seth Rollins as well. So for Linda Kay, the man they call Meathead, hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.